I remember a number of years ago, I went to the General Council meeting of the United Church of Canada. It's like General Assembly for the Presbyterian Church USA. It's where all the kind of delegates and the bigwigs throughout the national church gather and do the politics of the church for about 7 or 9 days. And you think politics in the local church can be pretty wild? My goodness, you have not seen anything unless you get a chance sometime to go visit a General Assembly or a General Council. This meeting took place in Fredericton, New Brunswick this particular year. And every morning as we gathered in the arena to take care of the business for that day, and we'd be looking at the agenda to see what sort of vote would be taken this day and what sort of issues we'd be dealing with, the arena floor was a buzz. People doing their politics, people lobbying one another, trying to get people to vote this way or that way on this amendment or on this particular vote. And you could just feel the energy and the tension, and it just seemed odd to me that this was the Christian church. But what really moved me was the way that the worship leaders began worship every morning. We started every day, before we got into the politics, we started with worship. Well, these worship leaders would come up onto the platform, and as 800 or 900 people are buzzing around the room doing their politics, they didn't do this. Would you all please come to order now? We're going to start worship. Please take your seats. Which, unfortunately, has been my experience too often in other places. No, the worship leaders at this conference, at the General Council, would say this. They'd just stand up at the microphone and very quietly they'd begin singing the words of Psalm 46, verse 10. They go, "Be still, be still, be still and know that I am God. For I am exalted in the nations and on earth. Be still and know that I am God." And just like it has happened in this room today, a hush sort of washed across the room. One by one, people stopped talking, stopped the politicking, and then they'd start joining in as the worship leaders would sing it a little more loudly, and then as a body, we became one as we were still in God. We could feel ourselves becoming part of that family tree in Jesus Christ. We could feel ourselves becoming one family as our hearts and our minds and our politicking and our lobbying were stilled. And people started to sing together, "Be still, be still. Be still and know that I am God, for I am exalted in the nations and on earth. Be still and know that I am God." What a beautiful way to still the chaos in our hearts and our minds, to put our own personal agendas to rest, and to begin a day being still in God. Sometimes Jesus needs to take us all away to a bit of a deserted place, a lonely place where we can be still in God, to remember who God is and who we are. Sometimes we need to be still so that we can reconnect in that relationship with God, to kind of put all the chaos to rest for a moment. But did you notice that the word that Jesus uses, the word that Mark uses to record what Jesus said, when he said to the apostles, "Come away to a lonely place," it's a peculiar word to me. Jesus did not say, "Let's go on summer retreat." Jesus did not say, "Come on, I know this great resort, and we'll go get some rest down there." Jesus did not say, I put some bubbles in a bath and we're going to have Calgon take us away. Jesus did not take the apostles for a Calgon moment. Jesus took the apostles to a deserted place. In fact, the word is a lonely place. Jesus took them to a lonely place where they could find some rest. Now, I don't know about you, but the lonely times and the lonely places in my life, those are the places I try to avoid. Who wants to be lonely? Who wants to go to a lonely place? Loneliness, I think, is something we'd all sort of rather avoid. It's a painful place. Our loneliness usually comes at a time when all that kind of pretense under which we live our lives is stripped away. When the masks we wear come off. When we experience ourselves at a level beyond our day-to-day selves. You know, who am I if I'm not a pastor? Who am I when I'm not wearing the robe? Who are you when you're not the lawyer or the doctor or who are you when you're not the member of Old Stone Church? Who are you when you're not the husband or the wife? When all that stuff comes down, just who the heck are you? That's loneliness. Loneliness is when we come to that place of existential angst, when we're wondering just who on earth we are anymore. When we get all those distractions, those things that allow us to distract ourselves on a daily basis, when all those things come down, that's loneliness. Jesus said to the apostles, come away to a lonely place. Let's take off the masks. Let's take off the badge of achievement and honor that we're wearing right now because we think we've done so many great things in the name of Jesus Christ. Let's take off our pride. Let's take off our status as apostles of Jesus. Jesus strips all those things away. He says, come away to a lonely place where you can be broken down. Your false self can be cleared away, and you can remember who you are and who God is. But look, I think that's the point. It's in the deep loneliness, the darkness of our loneliness, that we come closer to the truth about who we are and about who God is, perhaps than any other time or any other place in our experience. In the loneliness. It's in the times of dark loneliness that God calls us into deeper relationship with Him. Well, I know it's in those times that if you're like me, you want to run. And you want to hide away from the loneliness. You want to create some distractions, do anything to busy yourself up so you don't have to feel the pain of loneliness. My goodness, I'm an extrovert big time. And I know every now and then you need a little quiet space, but for us extroverts, it's even harder. I feel lonely. I want to go hang out with some people. I want to go do something. I want to go experience something. Boy, years ago, for me to sit down and have a quiet time to even read a book was a painful experience. I'd rather kind of hang out with people. And yet, it's in that loneliness. It's in that space that we feel an incredible closeness, or can feel an incredible closeness to God. It's in those moments of loneliness that we really can discover who we truly are.